And never in presidential history, I remember that there would be two plane crashes within a week of someone being presidency. Never happened. None under Reagan, Carter, Bush, Obama, and Clinton, or Biden. Never. Now, I wanted to bring you some attention, fam. This is not a Democrat thing. This is not a Republican thing. It's a humanity thing. Now, if you remember 9/11, some of you may not remember 9/11. Some of you probably do remember 9/11. Under Bush Jr., when the towers were attacked, he got the nation together and say, we need to come together and let us pray for those around the world who lost someone in the Twin Towers that day. It was an international prayer. He got people together. Now, every crisis or tragedy, a president's duty is to be not only the commander in chief, but the commander of condolences, of bringing people together and just embrace, because we all human, we all lose somebody. But this fool here, not once he got to he was talking about his grievances, his this, and coming up with false assessments of what really happened. Hey, be like Tony Braxton. Just be a man about it and own up. Because one of the programs that you tried to cut was the Department of Aviation, and you fire a whole bunch of people. No air traffic controllers. Look what happened. Huh, you big dummy. Not one, but two crashes. Now we gotta say it for yourself. Who you gonna truly blame? You can't blame DEI for all this, because here's the thing: you under your watch, you fired all these people. Fam, something to think about. Now, I want to have a conversation with you. Let me ask you a question. Now, when that crash happened, now a question I'll be asking: how did Pete Buttigieg came up in this discussion or the blame? How did Barack Obama came up in the blame? Joe Biden came up in the blame, and the whole Democrat Party. I'm just saying. I'm asking you a question. This is an opinion that I came up with, an assessment. Barack Obama, who's the 44th president, he was the American's president. He was not a president for blacks. Well, he was half and half. So either way it goes, he was not just the white side president or the black side president. He was the president of the United States. He wasn't the president just for the Democrats. He was everyone's president, like it or not. Joe Biden, uh, his administration was diverse. Before in his term, he had 39 qualified, I said qualified, uh, African women to be federal judges before he left out. Pete Buttigieg, LGBTQ community. So this person, Trump is using this as a perfect opportunity to push Project 2025 full ahead and saying these people ain't qualifying. I can't remember this pilot's name, but he got on and did an interview. He said, I'm disabled. I don't like to use the word disabled, but he was missing an arm and he flew a plane perfectly. And the president attacked a person with any type of unique ability. I'm going to use unique ability, and say they're not qualified. Okay, so fam, I'm gonna throw this at you. So look at the president. He's a 34-time felon. Should he be qualified to hold office? Like it or not, let's say me and you commit a felony. Okay, so what that disqualify us for? We can't vote. We can't have a job in the private sector. We can't have an apartment. We're marked with a scarlet letter in society. He committed 34 felonies and an insurrection and some other stuff I don't want to go into because I am not trying to bore you to tears with all his own dirt. And he's the president. Explain that to me. How can a president be with that type of mindset be qualified to run a country? That's dangerous. Now, you see what happened. Under an example of not being mentally fit, we had 2 plane crashes. Hey, that's under your watch, Trump. I'm just saying. Now, here's the thing. Now, look at his cabinet. The question I ask you, fam, there's no diversity in his cabinet. Now, most of his cabinet, y'all gonna say it white. Now, the people he chose for were not qualified. So I'm gonna ask you this: how you attack DEI when Cass Patel for FBI, that fool ain't qualified. He's incompetent. I can't remember the female who was going for, but she's not qualified. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, that he ain't definitely qualified. My best friend, who is an E7 in the National Guard, he could be a Secretary of Defense with the qualifications he has because he had integrity and he knows how to run a small unit. Now, only thing that Pete Hegseth is good for is lying and running his dang on mouth. Kennedy. Really? Department of Health? Not qualified. And some of these people are not qualified not only in the positions, the only thing they're qualified for is running their mouth, lying, and servanthood to Trump. That's all it's about. Now, here's the thing. Character. I can't remember the senator's name. Oh yeah, Matt Gaetz, which was thrown definitely on war. He wasn't qualified because of character. Every person that the president chose, they were not qualified. Why? Because of character issues, something shady in their closet, or they're not fit for the job. So you attack DEI because the people under DEI, women, people with unique abilities, LGBTQ community, and people of color. Anything under the guidelines like that, he don't want. But when these crashes happen, he was the first one to jump up and say, "Oh, it's DEI. It's under DEI. Pete Buttigieg, Biden." I'm like, we don't know what actually happened. Each aircraft, if some of you that is under aviation probably knows, there's a little black box that tells what happened on the final the final destination of an aircraft. Now, here's the thing: in the Christian community, I'm not a perfect Christian. I'm not gonna judge those who have not sinned. Cast the first stone, but I'm going under observation. So, in the Christian in community, The president is not qualified. He lacks sympathy, empathy, compassion. He attacked the bishop. Now, my question to you is, why are you going to attack a bishop? Oh, yeah, because she's doing God's work. And she's a woman. That's right. I said it. She's a woman of a different ethnicity. Now, let me add some the thought, food for thought. If the bishop was a white male asking the same plea that the female bishop did, how would the president respond? Something to think about. Now, let me ask you a question. Meals on Wheels, OPM, and some of these programs, Trump was trying to cut, and he's trying to lie and say it was a glitch in the system. No, he could not figure out the way to balance the budget. So what he's going to do, he's trying to take away programs that help single parent households, military family, and people who have a hard time taking care of themselves. I have a neighbor. She's a Republican. She's on Meals on Wheels. I have some friends. They're Republican. They depended on food stamps. Now, I'm confused because in the Christian community, and I heard someone say this, oh, these people are lazy, they don't want to work, and they're mooching off the government. And I'm sitting here and like, would Peter said that statement? Would Jesus said that statement? Will Paul say that statement? No. Before Jesus ascended to the, I know some of y'all don't go to church and some of y'all don't believe in Christ. I'm just giving you something to compare and contrast to. So when Jesus ascended to the heavens, last thing he said to Peter, Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. Meaning the people who can't take care of themselves, the vulnerable, the poor, the people who are in jail, the people who are homeless. But to hear some Christians say they're moochers, okay, there's some that might take advantage of the system, but a lot of these people are victims because our system is sometimes set up for failure. Some situations they can't get themselves out of, they can't help themselves. But yet to say that statement, that is moochers and good riddance to those programs, that's heartless, unchristian-like, and that's unqualified to be unfit to be a Christian or a human. Humanity is defined as showing human emotions, empathy, sympathy, compassion, love, mercy, grace. Trump don't demonstrate none of those things. He demonstrates malice, evil, pride, and he said God saved him to make America great again. I don't think so, because God don't pick and choose. God don't say, oh, this person's Democrat, I'm going to spare him. Oh, this person's Republican, I'm going to spare him. No. God have a purpose for everybody underneath the sun, good and evil. So you probably say, okay, what do you learn from this? Simple. Not to be like the president, but to lend a hand, to pray for those who are in those situations, and to study the president's behavior, because I'm going to give a challenge not only to you, the viewer, but to the American people. Look up narcissism. Look up malignant narcissism. Read do an audio book on the president, The Code of Trump, or a book by Mary Trump, Enough is Enough. There's so many books about the president. I want you to go out there and educate yourself, because he don't care about America. he been catering to those, to his rich billionaires. He is the president of the billionaires. He don't care about people like you and me. In fact, if we die today or tomorrow, he don't care, because what a narcissist does, it's about themselves. It's about that me, 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 me. Like De La Soul said, just me, myself, and I. In a narcissist's mind, there's no room for nobody else but themselves. Facts. That's no opinion. That's facts on that. You're probably thinking, how you know? I lived it. I'm going to leave it at that. I lived narcissism. Now, I want to make another comparison. So you have a general understanding where I'm going with this, about compassion, empathy, sympathy, mercy, unconditional love. Jesus versus Trump in that area. In John 3:16, God sent his only begotten Son into the world, not to condemn it, but to save it. So basically, God's not saying, I'm just going to save the Jews only and F the rest. No. He loved the world to send his only Son. Now that's compassion. Another compassionate act that Christ did, he died for the world's sins. Now, I could say one thing about Christ, he's more soldier than me. I'm gonna be asking you this question. How many y'all gonna be tacked on the cross and die for the world's sins? I mean, because some of us will be like, I don't know, I want to die for that person. That person did me wrong. I don't know, I want to die for that person because they did me. But even though people rejected Christ, his own people rejected him. Some of his own people, like the Pharisees and the Pharisees and Sadducees, rejected him. He died for the world's sins. That's compassion. He didn't pick and choose. So Jesus took 39 lashes when he got beat. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't take 39 lashes, maybe 2, and I'm done. Because during the days of Jesus, when the Romans used the whips, they had these little spikes that coming out. And each time you hit the person with that whip, it goes in the skin, it tears the flesh out. Think about that whip with those pointy ends going into your flesh 39 times, but save 1 lash. Can you endure that? When they crowned Jesus the thorns, that didn't kill him. No. I could tell what Jesus died from. So when the centurion poked the spear into Jesus' side and make sure he's dead, of course, all that, I know a person would be dead. So water came from his heart. Normally it's supposed to be blood, but it was water. Jesus died from a broken heart. Now that's compassion. Now taking away programs like Meals on Wheels, OPM, the aviation program, he's going to justify that's cutting the budget. No, that's just carrying to your rich friends like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy. What happened to Prince Ali Baba? I don't hear nothing from him. Oh, that's why they ran him out. Mark Zuckerberg, who bent the knee. So, Mark, all that money you have, you can lawyer up. Let him threaten you about throwing you in jail, but you didn't have to bend the knee. What compassion mark that you have? Do you really care about the people of Facebook, or you care about yourself? Elon Musk, you're a person with Asperger, but you're just about yourself because you're like a narcissist, and allegedly you take drugs. So you should be unfit to be a head of Tesla. You should be unfit to take up X because of your character. In that case, because you're Asperger, should that rule you out? Because Trump is talking about people with disabilities. Asperger should not be qualified to run any type of business at all, or the government sector. Something to think about. I'm just throwing all this out to have a conversation. I'm not asking for y'all to bandwagon agree with me. I just want to have a conversation and give you something to think about. The people I named, from Pete Hegseth, Matt Gaetz, Kash Patel, or Kennedy, are those people truly qualified? The only qualified occasion they have is they're loyal to the president. I remember reading some in the Bible that Jesus said, you cannot serve two masters. You love one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Basically, he said you cannot serve God and money. Now, here's the thing about the president, or the people that he picked for this cabinet. Are the people that he picked for this cabinet, will they be will they protect the Constitution and the people under the Constitution, or they're gonna be loyal to Trump? So a lot of these people that are being appointed, who are not qualified for these positions, or loyal to the president, like Michael Jackson said, they don't give a damn about us. And the song of P. Diddy is all about the Benjamins. The president. I'm gonna throw this at you, fam. Why did Trump did not put his hand on the Bible? Why did Judge Roberts wasn't there to swear him in? Judge Roberts was like, "Oh hell no, I'm not going down for this bull stuff. It's bad enough I gave him unlimited immunity. No, I'm not swearing him in, because under the Constitution, the Chief Justice is supposed to swear the president in, and the president's supposed to uphold the Constitution by putting their hand on the Bible. He didn't put his hand on the Bible. So, another question, fam. If you believe in God, I'm just throwing this out there, and if you sworn into office, will you put your hand on the Bible? And then why was he sworn in the White House and not at the Capitol? But on this note, the compassion of Christ versus Trump. I'm not saying become a Christian overnight. I'm not trying to say go to church. I'm just giving you something to compare and contrast to. Christ talks about humility, sympathy, empathy, and compassion. And the bishop displayed the passion of, like the Mel Gibson movie, the Passion of the Christ. She said, Mr. President, have mercy. These people are scared. 1% of the people are LGBTQ community. And the rest, that these raids, these ICE raids, unprecedented. Now, I had a friend who served in the military. Simplify and oorah. He said in this day of age, he would not serve under this administration when the administration turned the military on its own people. And he told me this: Constitution and people. We've sworn to protect the Constitution and people, not the president. So, with that being said, will Pete Hegseth follow through what my friend, who's a veteran, has spoken? Would Pete Hegseth protect the people under the Constitution, or will he go under the direct orders of Trump and turn the military against the American people? I do not want that to happen to you. I don't care if you're Republican, MAGA, or Democrat. You don't want to be looking down the barrel on the M4. You don't want that day to happen to you. The passion of the Christ doesn't mean being vindictive and evil and being petty and punish those who didn't vote for you. You're supposed to be the president for the people, by the people, and we the people. And with that being said, love, peace, and happiness. I'm out.